So hello guys, here we have question number 33 from Build Up Your Understanding exercise of the chapter Thermal Physics from the book Pathfinder. So first let's look at the question. A heat insulated cylindrical container is divided into two parts by a piston made from a material of very low thermal conductivity and the negligible heat capacity. The cylinder is fixed horizontally and an ideal monatomic gas is filled in both the parts to occupy equal volumes V, each at equal pressure P0, but at different temperatures T1 and T2, where T1 is greater than T2. After a long time, when equilibrium is re-established, what will be the temperature in both the parts and how much heat will pass through one piston of the gas from one part of the gas to another. So, and I'm not giving any hint for this question, as it is pretty straightforward and comparatively on the easier side. So if you want to give it a try yourself, you should do it now. So now let's look at the solution. So first of all, what we get in the what is given in the question, it is clear that heat will flow from the hotter part to the cooler part, but this process is happening very slowly as the thermal conductivity of the piston is negligible. So first of all, let's try to find some values in the initial and final states so we can deduce a few things. So here let's consider that this is the initial state and this is the final state. So initially the pressure is P naught in both the containers, and let's say finally it becomes P and it will be equal as they are in mechanical equilibrium. Then initial temperature is T1 and T2 for the first and second container, and let's assume that it is T in the final state and it will be equal because it is in thermal equilibrium too. Initial volume is V for both, and let's say final volume is V plus X for the first and V minus X for the second container. Here I have taken plus because the heat will flow from the second container to the first because the second one is hotter. And the number of moles in the first container will be from ideal gas equation. We get that N1 equals to P naught V by RT1 and N2 equals to P naught V by RT2. Here I could have written this and this in terms of P, T and V plus X, V minus X also, but it will be calculated in the preceding steps, so it isn't exactly necessary. So first of all, let's consider the ideal gas equation for an ideal gas in the final state for two containers. What we get is, so first of all, by ideal gas equation, the ideal gas constant will be equals to PV by NT, which is constant, so it will be same for any sample of the gas. So for the first sample, which is in the final state, its pressure is P, volume is V plus X, its number of moles is P naught V by RT1, and its temperature is T. And equating this again to the similar in the container 2, and we get this. And on simplifying, P and T gets cancelled. We get that V plus X over V minus X equals to T2 over T1. And on doing component or dividend or directly by solving for X, we get that X equals to V times T2 minus T1 over T2 plus T1. So this is one of the values we found. This is the change in the volume that will happen. Now also writing the expression for the first law of thermodynamics of the two chambers separately, and here I have assumed that Q amount of heat flows from the second container to the first. So from here by first law we get that Q equals to delta U plus W. So let's say if the first container will gain a heat of Q, so Q will be equals to N1 CV delta T plus W, and here Cv will be 3R by 2 as it is a monoatomic gas and its final temperature is T and initial is T1, so delta T will be T minus T1. And similarly for the second sample, it will be minus Q equals to N2 times 3R by 2 times T minus T2 plus minus W. Note that here I have taken minus W because on at each of the points, as the process is happening very slowly, the pressure on both the sides will be equal. And so when one of the containers is expanding, the other container is being compressed, so its work done will be minus of W. The W is same in 1 and 2. And adding the above two equations, we get on adding we get that Q cancels out and W also cancels out, and 3R by 2 can be taken common and cancelled again. So from here what we get is N1 plus N2 times T equals to N1 T1 plus N2 T2. So from here the final temperature of the gas is we get is N1 T1 plus N2 T2 by N1 plus N2. And on substituting the values of N1 and N2 which we found here, they are P0 V by RT1 and P0 V by RT2, we finally get that the final temperature equals to 2 T1 T2 by T1 plus T2. So this is the answer for part 1. Now let's look at the what we can do from here. Now that we have found T, we can find the final pressure by equating moles of ideal gas from ideal gas equation in the first chamber initially and finally. So, in the first chamber initially, the number of moles is proportional to P naught V by T1, as the initial pressure was P naught volume V and temperature T1, and finally the pressure is P, volume is V plus X, and temperature is T. And so here we can substitute the value of X to be V times T2 minus T1 by T2 plus T1, and the value of T to be 2T1 T2 by T1 plus T2. So from here, again simplifying, here T1 cancels, V cancels, and on simplifying we get that finally P naught equals to P. It's a very surprising result. So from here we get that final pressure should be equal to the initial pressure, which is quite surprising, as I said. So this suggests that maybe the whole process happened isobarically for both the containers, which is actually true because the thermal conductivity of the walls is very less, so the pressure doesn't actually change throughout the process. So the heat transfer can we can say from here is that as the process occurring very slowly, the change in pressure is negligible, while all the heat coming is going into the internal energy itself. So from here, assuming it to be isobaric, what we can say is that so the heat transferred can be found out using molar heat capacity at constant pressure as Q will be equals to NCP delta T. Here Cp will be 5R by 2 as it is a monoatomic gas, and I've written it for the first chamber. You could have equivalently written it for the second chamber, and you would have got the same result. So from here, N1 equals to P naught V by RT1. This is 5R by 2 as it is, and T minus T1, and substituting the value of T to be 2 T1 T2 by T1 plus T2, you can finally get this result, which is the heat flown through the piston will be 5 by 2 times P naught V times T2 minus T1 over T2 plus T1. So yeah, this is the final answer, and it was a pretty straightforward question, and hope you all liked it. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.